Yeah, was that streaming Left 4 Dead 2? Alright.
Ah, crap. I think it still says it's pup.
Out.
Alright, we're live on Twitch. We're live on YouTube. Let me... Nope, that's not the site I wanted. That's the site I wanted.
I like that little ninja that pops up in
TVGP live.
YouTube's chat.
Yeah, I think that's kind of fun. Alright, now all those say TVGP.
Ooh, I bought a new couch.
Oh, yeah?
Bought a San Lee. The action on this recline is so smooth.
Yeah.
And I laid in a couch that I could literally lay down with my arms straight up and I couldn't touch either side.
Nice.
I should have bought it, but I didn't.
Alright, we're live on Hitbox and Beam.
Yeah, so I bought that, and it's in a chair and a half, new recliners for downstairs.
Nice.
I went leather this time, so the dogs can't destroy it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one it's like a normal size, like I think it's 91 inches from end to end, and it's the one that's split in the middle.
Oh,
so it
yeah,
only has
yeah.
two things to recline, and it's power.
Oh, man. You have like a swanky pad down there.
What it's gonna be. I was talking with Scott last night about it. He says, "Oh, you should put a desk down there."
It's pretty good.
Oh, it was funny. I was like,
man.
"No, it's not black."
Oh, man.
Oh, what's up, Samson?
Right.
Hi.
Only want to give about a minute or so since we're starting later for people to hop in, and then we'll get started.
Hi. Oh,
Did I download anything else on my phone that I played, maybe? I only have like 3 games.
Oh, did you oh, I saw you were in the guild.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I turned that thing public, and that thing fills up in seconds.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I tried to join, and it's like, you can't accept an invite. I was like, no, I'm trying to join, and it sounds like you had some problems trying to invite me.
Yes.
And then I checked like the next day, and it was public, and I was like, oh, great. And it was like 5 people. I checked that night, and there were like 46 people.
Yeah.
I was just like, wow.
And then I deleted everyone I didn't know.
Right.
And then within an hour and a half, it was back up to 50.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't understand this.
I wish there was a better way. Hey, Coaster Mall. I wish there was a better way for you to invite people. Because, like, I sent you that screenshot which had my name and, like, my ID. And it seems
it didn't work.
Yeah.
Like, every time I went to invite, invalid ID. Invalid ID.
That's
and it was
weird.
so frustrating.
Yeah.
So did you enjoy it, though?
Did I enjoy what?
Did you play the game?
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about it when you talk about it in your segment, but...
Yeah. Hold on, I gotta check my research here.
Oh, I should clear that. I just did some research with some purple cards the other day. It was going to take like 12 hours.
Oh, I've had a couple that take 24.
Oh, wow.
Alright, Peter in the costume. Oh, come on!
It's too blown out. I can't tell.
Oh, damn it.
What was it?
No, it's Peter in a rabbit costume.
Great.
Oh, the kidney killer. Alright. What else can I...
This game is making me want to watch Bob's Burgers again from the start.
Alright, Teddy comes up pretty regularly. I'll research that.
Have you done Teddy plus costume?
Yes.
Orange and black Teddy?
Tiger Teddy. No, alright, let's go Brian's Martini. And... let's see what Hermes looks like drunk.
Ooh, that'd be a good one.
But yeah, like I did the food truck and Epic Peter, and it turns into the pirate Volkswagen car.
Great.
And like the references in this game are so good.
Yeah. It's pretty much the one you would want it to be when you put two cards together.
Yeah, like what was he? I put Gene and the Vitruvian Man together, and I get the 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 Louvre of animal anuses.
Perfect. Ever since Netflix screwed me over with the region restriction of missing out on Bob's Burgers, oh man. It's probably on something annoying like Hulu or something, but I can never recommend Hulu.
Oh, Bob's Burgers is so good.
Yeah. I bet those DVDs are cheap.
Yeah, this one show I haven't
hand.
bought. I just picked up season 6 of The Venture Brothers.
Oh, nice.
For some reason, my DVR stopped recording it. I'm like, all right, I guess it's over.
Guess I'll just buy it.
Yeah. What did I pick up recently? Oh, I picked up that Kingsglaive movie, the Final Fantasy
Final
movie.
Fantasy 15 one, yeah.
Oh, is it bad?
I heard it's bad. I'm getting one of the special. Well, as of right now, I'm getting the special edition of Final Fantasy 15 that comes with it. I'm sort of like, none of the Final Fantasy movies have been good, so
I got the Advent Children wasn't horrible.
Yeah, it was a little breakneck, I think.
I mean, that one wasn't. Spirits Within was just kind of all right. I guess
Spirits Within. I think it's so boring.
It is. It bores me to tears.
Its worst sin is that it's boring. Go watch Titan AE. That's a great science fiction movie.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there. But I don't know what happened in this thing.
Kingsglaive?
Yeah,
That's what I've heard from all the reviews. Is like, am I supposed to have played this after I played the game? It's supposed to be a prequel, so why is it not explaining anything?
It doesn't. It doesn't really explain. So there's magic, and this dude's got a little knife he throws, and it teleports him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which looks really cool and is fun in the game, but they explained it in the game at least. Also, it's different voice actors from the game, which is a little crazy. None of that makes sense.
Yeah. Was the dude from Breaking Bad is like the lead in it.
Yeah. Did you see the anime series of Final Fantasy 15? I haven't seen that yet, but apparently it's really good. It's all on YouTube for free. Actually, Square Enix put it on YouTube for free. Everything is on for free on YouTube. But yeah, apparently that one's really good. So I haven't watched that yet. It's also on Crunchyroll. Okay.
Yeah, I'm subscribed to Crunchyroll. I have yet to watch a single thing on that.
We were talking about that on Pup yesterday. Apparently, Mina's been watching Crunchyroll lately. Apparently, Crunchyroll is getting, like, in 1080p and with professional subtitles, they're getting shows day and date with their airing time in Japan.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But their site's a nightmare to navigate.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
Because I've subscribed to it to watch Berserk.
Right.
I ended up watching Berserk through a different third-party site, Anime One, because they were actually up on the day and date.
Interesting.
Because I could not find that show on their website. I'm like, this is new.
Right.
It should be right on top.
Yeah, it should be on the front page.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's stuff.
All right, you ready to kick this thing off?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me, as always, is Knobs.
What's up?
One piece of programming news here at the very beginning. You can watch this show and listen to this show on a couple of new sites. So, as of right now, we are streaming on... Before this, we were streaming on YouTube and Twitch. We're now also streaming on Beam and Hitbox. Microsoft's own Beam. And I don't know who owns Hitbox. So you can watch this show and Pup live on those two channels as well. Also, you can listen to the show on SoundCloud. More platforms to come in the future, but SoundCloud's space restrictions are a little bit rough, and I can't afford to pay for a pro account right now, so it is probably the most recent episode of Pup and TVGP. So that'll basically be how that works. So go check those out. Follow us, friend us, like us, whatever the kids usually have you do on those sites. That helps the show immensely. Enough about that. Knobs, what have you been playing this past week?
All right. Well, Monday Night Game Night was back to its old self again, with a little foray back into Battlefield 4. Man, we have fun playing this game. I literally spent most of my time sniping in the game because I haven't done it in so long.
Yeah.
And man, is that satisfying.
Yeah.
That headshot and the numbers just start popping up. You're like, that just scratches that such a good itch.
All those medals and numbers popping up.
Yes. And then getting in little sniper battles with some random people is just awesome.
Yeah.
And catching people camping and going ripping their tags. It's great. It really is. It's still one of my favorite experiences in video games.
Yeah.
Just a nice 300-meter plus headshot.
Oh man.
Where you're far enough away that they really couldn't see you unless they were looking for you. And it
feels so good.
It does. It really does. Especially when you get those guys that are sitting way, way, way back and you pick them off at like 1,000 plus.
They think they're safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one's safe. Finger of God's coming in. But yeah, I mean, we had a full boat last week, and we even played it a couple more times over the weekend. We just had an absolute ball.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's probably going to be short-lived because something's coming out this week that we're probably going to be playing a lot of.
That's true.
And we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
So I finished Deus Ex: Mankind Divided.
Hey.
And I can tell you one thing for sure. Mankind is still divided.
Probably not a spoiler, but... Yeah.
Wow. I cannot believe... Usually in some games, you feel like you have made a difference.
Right.
No.
Wait until I talk about one of the games I've been playing. I ran into an ending that's very similar.
I honestly think I made it worse. I really do.
It's like you're playing The Witcher, where he's like, I made the right choices. Everybody died. It's like, oh, well. Okay.
So you have a choice at the back half of this game. Either you go save a small group of people, or you hedge off a larger catastrophic event. I think it's made up a word. But
I like it.
But yeah, so I made the choice to save the most amount of people in the shortest amount of time.
Right.
And yeah, that did not play out well at all. And you have...
we definitely won't spoil it, but I feel like that's not a spoiler.
You kind of have a... I enjoyed the game as a whole. Once I finally was able to skulk around and slaughter everyone, I had a lot of fun.
Once you finally got like the skill loadout that worked for you?
I did.
Yeah.
I wish I could have respected at some point, because I think I put too much emphasis on the hacking, figuring I was going to be doing it all the time,
Right.
which inevitably I was, until I figured out the crafting system where I can just craft multi-tools at my own discretion, that I can just hold a button and fix it.
Right.
Versus stressing myself out in that hacking game.
Right.
Which isn't really a game, because there's no... It's just a random shoot. Like, it's all it is.
Oh.
But yeah, so I finished it, and then you have a little bit of dialogue at the end where you can either, evade, justify, or proclaim your choice on what you did. So I proclaimed it. I owned it. What am I going to say?
These things happened.
And he has one of these little lines like, "Well, I thought I could save everyone," and I'm like, "Come on, man."
Did you though?
Like, not only my body counts in the hundreds at this point, who am I really saving here?
Right.
But no, and then there's an unskippable credit scene.
Great.
That has a mid-credit scene.
Great.
That probably important that you should have known, but I had no idea at this point. So yeah, I'm not saying it's not worth playing. It does a lot of stuff really cool. It's a very competent technical shooter. I was really hoping to have some sort of resolution than just being like womp womp at the end of it.
You know, it was interesting recording Pup yesterday because Musim is having a similar problem with the game that you are, where it's really just not clicking with him. Like, there's something about it that isn't grabbing him, and he played a couple hours and hasn't played it in a couple weeks, and it sounds like it's kind of for similar reasons, where it's like, yeah, it's fine, but I don't care that much. Not in a mean way, it's just...
Like, I felt fully invested in what was going on in Human Revolution.
Right.
I was in whole hog, both barrels. Like, I was all the way in it. I was loving every minute of it. This one felt more like work than the other games.
Right.
And maybe because there were a few things that happened in the game that I felt were kind of questionable when I was trying to do the right thing, but it wouldn't allow me to do it.
Right.
And I still feel guilty about killing the little inspector. I do. I feel really
He was just
bad
doing his
about
job.
I do, and you had no chance to talk or really explain because you had no chance to save the person that you were fighting.
Well,
and
it seems... I know a lot of games would do that, but it seems really out of place in a game that's so dialogue heavy that you feel like you should have been able to get a chance to say, like, wait, let me, it's not what it looks like, let me explain. And explain, but it seems like it never gave you that option.
No, and even leading into that one fight where eventually it killed the murderer, but that didn't matter.
Right.
But at some point, like, the dialogue didn't really seem to get me to the point where I could have talked my way out of a shootout.
Right.
And same thing with one of the ending, and they said no boss battles, which is BS. Because there's at least 4 that I know of. And that last one was a nightmare.
Yeah.
I mean, an absolute nightmare. You really had to know what your character could do inside and out to even survive it.
I'm kind of sick of boss battles in first-person shooters. Like, they never work.
There are a few that I think are engaging and interesting, like the way Starbreeze did some of theirs in Syndicate, where
that's true.
You really had to be on point, but it was very rewarding hacking a missile coming at you and shooting it back at them.
Yeah.
Like, that was where that really shined, and I don't feel like you had anything. It was every one of them was just a battle of attrition, where you had to skulk around, take a couple pot shots, go invisible, move to another position, take a couple pot shots.
Syndicate's a really good example because I feel like in that game you were using your abilities and your equipment to outsmart the enemy. It wasn't just like, I have 50 bullets and he needs to have 30 of them in him. It was really just like turning the tables on them because you were better than they were. You're smarter.
Well, yeah, and it was also picking the opportunity where you could breach and give yourself an opening.
Right.
Now, there's a finite number of... I mean, obviously, by the end of it, I had so much ammo. It was just stupid.
Yeah.
Like, 90% of my inventory was ammo and weapons, and that was it. Like, wasn't be able to use anything really fun. Like, I set up a whole bunch of mine traps and all sorts of stuff, and it was none of it was really to any avail. Right. Fighting this guy, and it was so frustrating. And the because I went around, hacked all the security terminals, and I was turning friendly fire on and intrude, and just getting everything else to attack him to give myself an opening. But those things, I was in front of it the way this guy was, I'm dead in seconds.
Yeah.
It just didn't feel like a very good even flow on that front. But
I'm glad the game clicked with you overall.
Technically it did, but the overall arcing thing where I think it left a lot of threads untied,
That's a
which
bummer.
was kind of frustrating because you get some resolution towards the end. Like, yeah, I wish I'd have known this guy was a good guy a little earlier. We could have made more of a difference.
Yeah.
But they give you every reason to make you skeptical of that character the entire way through.
Well, I know that Square Enix is looking to pretty aggressively franchise Deus Ex. So I think my hope is that they'll have another game in a couple of years, and it'll hopefully address some of those loose threads.
Yeah, and I think it references some of the stuff that happened in that one expansion pack relatively heavily. Like, I don't know who put these extra augments in me.
Right.
I don't. I just knew it happened while I was asleep
Right.
in the Arctic. Why not?
Yeah, there was that one expansion for Human Revolution, was like the Missing Link or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think a lot of people missed that.
but it was just, man, there's just something in that just I did not feel like I got much of resolution through finishing that game, which was mildly disappointing.
That's a bummer.
Hey, Nonstop Night has a new what's it called? A new animal. It's a beaver.
Awesome.
I need to
Nonstop
get my
Night
beaver.
fans of this show.
Oh my gosh, it's so awesome. I still really love this game. It's great all the way through, and I am getting rare drops like nobody's business right now.
Yeah.
Like I'm rolling like 7 3-star helms. I got like 4 capes that are all 3
Jeez.
stars. I only have one 3-star weapon, but it's the best one because it spawns little critters.
Nice.
So that it is madness, and I just wish the bounties recharge at a faster clip, and I would probably play that game a lot more. I don't know why 2 hours seems so long. Still playing a bunch of Stickman Golf. Game's still really good. JNob33, send me a game invite. I guarantee you I will play.
He'll play with anyone.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. No matter what course, I don't care. I will play that game, and I will drop 200 on Inconceivable Land. I cannot help that from happening.
I can't stop myself.
I cannot stop myself. And the other mobile game I've been playing a ton of, and I cannot get enough of it, is Animation Domination. That card battler is a ridiculous amount of fun.
Yeah, I when you mentioned it last week, I started downloading it. I'm trying to remember Animation Throwdown.
Is it Animation Throwdown?
Yeah, I always forget because
Animation Domination's the actual
they
run of shows.
I'm pretty impressed. So the one thing that stuck out for me, this is a fairly standard card battler plus gacha game where it has the regular card battle stuff where you have your attack and your health values and your rarity, and has the gacha stuff with combining and upgrading your units and, having random pulls and stuff like that. There were 2 parts of it that really impressed me. One was, so you're getting all this currency in-game, and it costs like 1,000 of these. So there's like 2 currency. One is, one of my favorite unit names is Giggity Watts, which is such a good name, and that's used for upgrading cards. And the other one is basically Futurama Nixon coins. And you can buy card packs with those coins, and each card pack costs 1,000. It'll get you 1 card. I've gotten a rare out of it. I've gotten gray level, low level. I've gotten all over the place. The one that's really great is once you get over like 3,000 or 5,000 coins, a new button shows up in the shop where it just spends all of your coins at once, and you have 9,000. It's just gonna buy 9 card packs for you, and you don't have to go like, yes, I want to buy, yes, approve. I like them doing that.
Yeah, wait till you get 33,000, then it's real fun.
Right. The other thing that I thought was really interesting is how they handle ads. So most of these games, you finish a match, you get an ad, or you go into the PvP arena and it gives you an ad. This one is, there's a tiny little button with a TV over the left-hand side. You push that, and you can watch up to 3 ads in a row, and for each ad you watch, it gives you
an hour multiplier.
Yeah, it gives you not only a multiplier, but it also gives you better chance at finding better cards and better chance at finding these little tokens out of PvP that level up your individual characters you play as. You can play as like Hank Hill or Bob or Peter Griffin. You can play as a lot of these characters.
Steroid Stewie.
Yeah. What's crazy is, like, if you watch 3 ads, they're 30 seconds. The first 2 are going to be for this one Summoner game, and the other one's going to be for some Disney theme park game.
Or or World at War or whatever it is.
Yeah, whichever, something of war. What's really crazy is if you watch 3 ads, basically 90 seconds, you get a pretty crazy multiplier for 4 hours. And
yes.
The game, you don't have to go watch them if you don't want. But you get a benefit. Obviously, Congregate made this game, so obviously Congregate gets a benefit, and Fox does. But it's really great to play a free-to-play game that isn't, hey, you need more of this? You want to go into PvP? Just watch a quick ad. It's incentivizing you to watch ads, which benefits both parties, and I think that's great.
Yeah, same thing. Nonstop Night does the same thing when it brings up your shop chest pops up on the left hand side. It's like, hey, you want 1.1 trillion coins? Just watch this 30-second ad.
Right.
Okay, I can probably get a couple upgrades out of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a great way to handle advertising, and it's not in your face constantly.
Yep.
But the thing that just keeps me coming back is the ebb and flow of the actual card battle is so good.
Yeah.
Like, it's getting the right card at the right time and being able to and the combining of cards.
That's really powerful, because as soon as I found Linda plus Food Truck, which is Road Rage, that's really powerful early game. So the cool thing about a lot of these cards is they all have these different effects on them. That card it looks like a little hockey mask, and basically every time you attack, that card gains 1 attack point. So it just gets stronger and stronger over the match.
I think mine with so I got the Food Truck plus Gene has the rage, the hockey mask rage. Mm-hmm. Goes up +6 on every hit.
Oof. And for those that are listening that haven't played, those values go up as you upgrade your card. So like it starts off at just +1. You upgrade a couple levels, that's now +2, +3, etc.
And then you fuse the card to make that card even more powerful of its base level. Then you upgrade that again.
Yep.
And it's a lot of fun, and I burned through a ton of giggity watts.
For me, as someone, I thought the base speed of that game is a little too slow. It's nice that in the game speed you can do 1x, 2x, and 4x, and it even has auto battle, which doesn't have a really great icon. It has like this little swoop arrow. You click that and the game just plays itself. So like,
really?
Yeah, so if you're farming, like, another interesting thing this game does is you can beat any of these levels. So each level is basically... So the idea behind the game is each one of these Fox properties, areas of the neighborhoods in the show have gotten ripped out of their universes, and they're kind of floating in the nothingness, and you're fighting. Like the very first one is that episode of Family Guy where Stewie finds out he had another brother in the womb.
Yes, and they're on the playground.
Yeah, and they're on the playground, and there's 3 battles. One is against Bertrand, I think was his name.
Yes.
And you fight 3 battles, and if you continue to replay those battles, when you play those battles again, you'll get a chance. The pool of cards you can win from the battle gets bigger and gets more rare. So
wait, because I've never gone back to those. You're talking about in the adventure mode.
Mm-hmm.
I've never gone back because I see the thing. You can beat them 3 times.
Yeah, so you can actually beat them 9 times. If you beat them 3 times, you'll basically get all of the bronze tier cards, and those are like your white and gray cards. They're fine. The silver tier is getting into like the green cards, and then the gold tier you have to beat them 9 times. That one is, and the fights get harder and harder each time. The gold tier is like your blue cards that you can win from fighting that one. So if you're looking for a specific card, that That's a really good way. And auto battle works really great there, because after you've beaten about 3 or 4 islands, the first one's easy. You just have it automatically play, and it just beat the crap out of the other guy.
I wish I'd have known that I could beat those, because I thought I had to go through everything else, then start the train all the way over again.
Oh yeah, I didn't,
because I'm
that.
17 levels deep right now.
Nice.
And getting my butt kicked by Gene Squatch.
Yeah, the thing, I didn't realize you could do it until the game actually has a really good quest system, which I wasn't really expecting. One of the quests was, well, you need to beat an adventure level 3 times. And I was like, okay. I clicked on the quest, and it took me to that first island. And I was like, oh, now that I read the screen with all the locks on the cards,
yeah,
now I see. That wasn't the clearest, but it's a pretty interesting system.
Yeah, and it shovels. It always keeps stuff flying at you all the time.
Yep. And again, without saying like, hey, you can unlock this island if you just watch a 60-second ad, or toss us $2 and you can get it. None of that.
Yeah, and it doesn't hinder you at any point.
Right.
So is it the little yellow button that's an auto battle?
No, it's at the top of the screen, where it says 1x and 2x, and when you're fighting. It's the thing right next to that.
Oh, I just want to see how this works.
Yeah. It's pretty nice, because a lot of times you want to pick your cards anyways, because you have your, like we've been talking about, you have your good combos. But on the lower level ones, or if you're fighting somebody really easy in PvP, just auto battle. You know?
Right. But yeah, that game is everything it needed to be.
Yep.
Which is awesome.
And great references. All the references, you can combine 2 cards, and like Linda plus sports gives you, all right, Linda.
Yeah.
That perfect.
It's so many of them are so great. Like I love getting Linda with any sort of alcohol, because then she turns into wine box Linda.
Right.
Like it's
it's clearly Congregate and whoever worked on it over at Fox really loves their properties, because they could have it could have been Linda with like a drink in her hand. But it's Wine Pouch Linda, which is very specific from the show, and it's a really good reference. And it didn't need to be, but it's so much funnier that it is.
Yeah, like, and all the references are to the point. Like, come on, Zoidberg riding the sperm dragon?
Right.
Are you serious?
That's so good.
Like, it's such a deep cut into the show. Like, these guys probably have seen every episode of all 4 or 5 of these shows that are involved.
Yep.
Like, man, I love I do the food truck, and Steve from American Dad, and there he is, Tractor Steve, with a big piece of grass sticking out of his teeth.
Right.
Or you do him with the Vitruvian Man, and then there he is on like some war painting, and it's just space taped on it. Yeah, which is an amazing card.
I'm really surprised that this game, when you recommended it, I was expecting it to be one of those mobile games that kind of fizzles out fast because it's one-dimensional, but it seems really good, and they just added a new island the other day in an update for challenges, which aren't live yet, but it's nice to see they're adding major features already.
Well, and some of and I spent like the $5 and I got Bad Tina because that card is hilarious.
Right.
But yeah, and it came with that and a bunch of gems, so I got another rare pack out of it, and I ended up getting 2 purples out of that pack, which was like, dude, this is great.
And a bunch of giggity walks.
Just don't scratch the itch, because
pin packs can happen all over again.
Yes, they can.
Yeah.
But it's everything. Like, again, I can't say that enough. Like, that game is exactly what it needed to be.
Yep.
It's like if you knew how to play Magic, it works.
Yep.
Like, it's just awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't recommend that enough. I wish the guild operated a little bit better so I can get all of us together.
Yeah.
I've about given up on it. If anybody else wants to start a guild,
yeah,
just name it something TVGP.
Yep.
Hey, there you go. Something something TVGP
There you
would
go.
be perfect title for our guild.
Yeah. It's a
And be able
little.
to invite to it.
Yeah,
Because
it's
I
a-
think I made you an officer.
I think so.
And
It's hard to manage guilds in there. It doesn't work really. I don't know if they're having server issues or bugs, but it doesn't function correctly.
but it seems like the benefit of the money side of earning the Nixon coins
Yep.
is worth being in it, especially if it's full and if everyone's active, it's really great.
Yeah.
But I get player. I got 50. I
Yeah.
got 50 people in this thing, and I think maybe know like 4.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little rough.
But I don't know. I'm not the one to be in charge, apparently. All right. And then the last game I played this week was Gears of War 4. A good friend of ours, a good friend of the show, the Gurk here, was able to procure us with some codes.
Oh yeah, because it came out a week
Digitally.
early for some like special edition or something.
For the Ultimate Edition.
Nice.
And that
Big props to him.
well worth the $50 for me
Nice.
to be able to play that game a little bit early. Yeah, so us, there were probably 5 or 6 of us trying to play together on, I think it was Friday night when we all eventually downloaded it. Except the download literally took every second of 4.5 hours.
Oh, jeez.
Every second.
Jeez.
So by the time everything was up and ready to play, it was like encroaching on midnight, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm done. I've been up way too long today.
Well, the good news now that you have the digital edition, though, is you have it on PC already.
Oh.
Because it's the... What is it they calling it? Play Anywhere? It's like their first full... No, Forza 3 was their first full... It's in their first foray of Play Anywhere games. So if you have a Windows 10 machine and you sign into the Windows Store with the same gamer tag on your Xbox One, it's just there in the store for you to download.
Huh.
And man, does it look good on PC.
Oh, I'm sure it looks
Holy
phenomenal. One.
Yeah.
Yeah, so last night was our first... We were trying to play through the campaign, and I'm already upset.
Okay.
So...
I
Gears.
know what you're upset about already.
You're taking a huge step backwards by only making that a 2-player campaign.
I could have called it. I'm surprised that wasn't... I'm not saying that Microsoft and Coalition pulled the wool over anybody's eyes, but I'm surprised that wasn't a louder thing early on.
I mean, we all, like, Scott, Urgent, Tomsy, and myself all got in a party, went to start a campaign. Sorry, 2-player max. And we're like, what? We're all yelling. It caught all of us blindsided.
Yeah.
Like, I was like...
From what I'm hearing from reviews, from the story perspective, it makes a lot of sense because it's not like Gears 3 where you have 4 people all the time going through the whole game. But that's kind of a bummer because the 4-person Gears 3 experience was so good.
At this point, I do not see how it's even possible to get through on Insane.
Oh,
because
yeah, it'd be like playing Gears 1 again. And that was tough.
Because I don't... we needed... when we did our Gears 3 run, we needed everybody.
Yep.
Everybody on A game, and even with the mutators, just to survive that last battle.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
we gamed the crap out of that to get it to work. And if we didn't have that Comet perk, none of us would have finished that.
That's right, I forgot about that.
I wish we could have recorded that. That was so much fun. That battle took every bit of an hour.
Yeah.
It's running around like little... like, you just see these little circles
shooting
around
stars.
Yes. Man, one person would die and just this. But so we ended up playing last night. We ended up playing Horde mode.
The new updated Horde mode.
The new updated Horde mode, which is interesting in its own right. We played on normal, the first one, and yeah, level 10 handed it to us.
So for those that maybe haven't been watching or seeing anything about Gears, they changed Horde mode where you drag this thing called the Fabricator to wherever you want it to start. You sort of find a good spot and plop this thing down. Once you do, the match starts, and when you kill an enemy, they drop something, I think it's called power.
Yes, it's power.
They drop something called power. You basically have to take that and bring it back to the Fabricator to fabricate things that help you fight it's not the Locust, it's the Swarm?
Yeah, it's the Swarm. I still haven't figured out what the Swarm is yet. Like, it's not a Brumac, it's a Swarmac.
Right.
Like,
yeah, it's basically the Locust.
Kind of made us laugh.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Horde mode is that was not messing around on normal. I know that much.
Yeah.
So we powered our way through level 10. We got up to level 20 and the game crashed on us.
Great.
So then we reset, we get back in it, we get our 5th, we get Donnie in there. And then we made it. We beat we got all the way level 50 and beat it on casual. But
I'll edit that out.
But we did it. And we did it on a map that we all knew, Gridlock.
Oh, sure. Well, you gotta get your feet wet. You know, you gotta. There's a lot of new stuff. You gotta get used to it.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to do. Is like, dude, we really need to see what we're in for on a higher difficulty. We need to play through this on like casual, so we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
We did find out some fun things though. There's a guy. Oh, I already forgot the name of it. Well, if you're downed, this one spidery looking enemy will scoop you up in its belly and then drag you around the thing. I think it's Abductor, I think it was called.
That would make sense.
Snatcher. It's called Snatcher.
Even better.
So Snatcher scoops you up, and I was scooped up in its belly for a minute, and then probably one of our funniest moments. Tomsy comes running over to save me, and he's just getting stabbed by this thing over and over again. And he's like, I don't know how to save you. I was like, well, clearly stabbing isn't the way. Being stabbed
isn't working.
Isn't the way to get me out of this.
Yeah.
And that was when we were playing on normal, and we were all in, like, full panic mode. Like, we're all over the map. No one's near each other.
Everything's on fire.
Everything's just going all cattywampus on us all the time. So then we're playing through it, and then we're playing on casual, and then Tomsy gets scooped up in this thing in one of our casual runs. And then I have this one of the newer sniper rifles, like an electric charge gun. So it's like a sniper rifle without a scope. So I go like this, and he gets scooped up, and he's like, help. And I just kind of go shoot and aim for its bottom, like its glowy bottom bits. And I sniped it, and then all of a sudden his body just falls out, and he's back up in the fight. That's like,
awesome.
And we all were like, dude, that was awesome. Whoa! So now we know we can save each other. But, yeah, man, it's Gears. It's
I like
great.
The idea of... It sounds like the new classes aren't too much of a big deal, but I like the idea of... As much as I liked Gears 3 and you hunkering down and you just continuing to build these fortifications and it's like the last bastion that you're holding, I like the idea of putting the Fabricator in a place and continually moving it around. So it's like, okay, this place is going to be easier, but we want to make it harder, so I'm going to drag it over here in the middle. I like the idea of having to go out and get the power and bring it back, so you have to be mobile around the map instead of just hunkering down.
You have to go and get those bits. Now, the way the Fabricator works, it levels it up on money spent. Just so you know that you have to spend money to level it up.
Nice. That's clever.
So you're always continually just buying fortifications, buying claptraps, and turning into razor wire, and then the laser lines, which is very advantageous as it goes further and further deeper into the round. Haven't got to level 4 yet because it's 120,000 spent,
right?
Which is, I don't even know how you could earn that much money.
Right.
I really don't, unless you have some sort of perk or something on that would make that go a little bit faster.
Or maybe you get more on higher difficulties?
Possibly, and at that point, I don't know if it's really worth the stress because we
Right.
were stressed the F out just on normal.
Yeah.
Like, we were literally running aimlessly in that match.
Man.
Um, but yeah, like the horde mode it's really good. Like the sentries and everything's all cool. I think we all picked soldiers except for Donnie, so we were relying on the person that follows direction the least to fix things the whole time. So we're always yelling at him, "Hey, the sentry needs work. No, over here, Donnie. I'm
No, the
over
one that's
here."
broken.
This one, he just. I was like, "It's already fixed. Come on, all right, time's up. We gotta go."
Oh man.
But I do enjoy the arsenal. There's another cool thing. You can actually put a weapons locker up to share weapons.
Ooh.
So if you run out and you grab a weapon and you drop it on this thing, someone else can go and grab that weapon to use it.
Oh,
like, say
cool.
someone really likes a boom shot, you find a boom shot, you drop it in the locker,
bank
and
it.
they grab it.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the arsenal there is an overkill gun that's pretty much a quad barrel shotgun
Great.
that is just dominating.
I saw that on a live stream. It just rips people apart.
Probably the reason why I will never play PvP, just because of that gun alone.
Yep.
It is way overpowering
Yeah.
because you hit it once and it's just like a double tap, like
Wow.
it's like a double shotgun blast right from the go. Or you can hold on it and then you just literally just, and it's like getting hit with like 6 shotgun rounds. Unbelievable.
Rough.
But man, that game has satisfying headshots.
Still some of the best
Oh my
headshots.
god, that pumpkin smash is
Yep.
so good. It's so good. And today, like, so today in lieu of watching the Browns game off and on, I was playing through the campaign, and that's pretty good so far.
From everything I've seen, it seems like it's a solid Gears campaign.
And man, Marcus Phoenix is such a good character.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Yeah. Is it still voiced by the same guy? Nice.
It is. Bender is still very, very angry.
Yeah. Now he's angry at his kid.
Yeah, which the exchanges are really good. Now, granted, there are a couple of those grown Baird-esque moments
Yeah.
that happen with one of the characters, but it seems to fit better. It's not as pessimistic as Baird was.
Right.
You know, Baird, the little ray of sunshine going through Gears of War,
Right.
is almost as bad as Francis from Left 4 Dead. Like, I hate everything. It's a solid game. I mean, it's Gears. You have a new arsenal to play with a little bit.
Yeah.
Robots are a bit odd.
Yeah.
There's kind of this really funny running gag so far in the game where this one chick keeps coming in this white robot that's got a little holographic face on it. Just, that thing gets destroyed every time. And the last time, like, I think Marcus goes up to chainsaw and she's like, "Oh, come on!" Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It's great. I really enjoy it. And there's a great, this isn't a spoiler or anything, but pretty early on, there's a great moment where it has, you know, the speech and a train comes by and blows it apart. You're like, ah.
Amazing.
Awesome. Yeah, but all things outside of the 2-player co-op thing, I couldn't be happier with how this game plays or looks.
Yeah.
It's everything it needed to be.
Great.
And I'm excited to find out what exactly I am fighting, because I'm pretty sure Marcus already spoiled it, but I can't wait.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait to see why and how.
Yeah.
But it's good, and that's I'm going to be playing that one for a while, so probably Monday Night Horde Night is coming.
Yeah. Start picking it up.
Right. And that's what I got.
Destiny's Tuesday Night Game Night was a larger success this week. So it was myself, Yusei Mac, and Lucian DC. We were playing. It was the return of Iron Banner this past week. So the level enabled PvP mode. We popped in there and we did pretty well. We weren't super high light level, but we were holding our own, and we got some pretty great loot coming out of that thing. So I would recommend, if anyone wants to play on Monday night, join the E1M1 clan in Destiny. Now the clan shows in your roster screen in-game, so you sort of have a built-in friends list of cool people. And on PS4, join the E1M1 community. You can join multiple ones. Every weekend, usually after this show, I create an invite for Tuesday night game night. So if anyone wants to play, you can just already hop in the party way ahead of time. So go do that. Would love to have more people playing. At the very least, we get 6 people. We could start queuing up and stomp some randos in Crucible. We could do the raid. We could do whatever. Private matches, all that stuff is good. The real interesting thing, though, is last week I talked about the return of Trials of Osiris. This week was the return of Iron Banner. And man, they made Iron Banner way better. So before, there was... There's 5 levels of reputation that reset every time Iron Banner comes around. And before, you'd get more reputation if you're wearing this thing and this shader and this emblem, and it was, if you're, you get more reputation the longer the event's been going. They got rid of all that stuff because it was a little too much. It was a little too much confusion around. Oh, I'm not even getting the best rep because I didn't buy this thing from the. Wait, how am I? What do I have to put on? Now it's really great. You have 4 quests that are there for the whole week. Completing each one gives you 750 rep. You only need 2,400 for each rank. And each one gives you a ton of Crucible rep and a purple item. So you're just getting good stuff by completing each one of those. Every time you win a match, it's 250 rep. Every time you lose a match, you get a coin that, when you win your next match, adds 150 rep on top of your win. And that's it. So Iron Banner is way better now you just need to go play it, and you will get good stuff. Which is what they really needed to do. It was interesting to see people play Supremacy, because people don't remember, just pick up every crest. It's exactly like Kill Confirmed in Call of Duty. Pick up everything that falls on the ground. Either you're going to score our team points, or you're going to have to pick up the crest from your team to deny points from the other team. Other than that, I didn't play a lot of Destiny this week. I did get invited. I want to give a huge thank you to Super Monkey on my friends list, who invited me to the raid about 10 minutes before game night was about to start. And I said, I'm sorry. I want game night to be a thing, so I have to go. Please invite me again, though. I would like to run the raid. I've finished... for the last couple weeks, I've been playing Paint It Back. Every week. I'm basically done with all of the normal difficulty puzzles on there. And now I'm going back through the harder ones. I really have to recommend this game if anyone wants to play Picross. It has a really good tutorial. The difficulty ramp is really good. The puzzles you're making are fun. They have funny descriptions, and when you put them all together, it's not just like, oh, look, you made a flower. It's sort of like, hey, you made a weightlifter that's lifting a weightlifter that's also lifting a weightlifter. It's at least something more. A lot of Picross games will be like, here's a puzzle. Let's. You made it, and it's the number 8. Like it's not that boring, which is kind of nice to see. So, Paint It Back, 2 thumbs up. It's a really good starter. A really good starter Picross game. Last but not least, I finished Mirror's Edge Catalyst.
Oh, well, that's quick.
Yeah, it's about It's about 10 to 12 hours. So I really, even at the end of the game, I had almost all of the upgrades. I still had a lot of trouble doing those like delivery and dash missions. I just didn't do them. I wasn't having any fun. I didn't find any of that stuff interesting. And you don't really need any of those upgrades to get through the story. The only real upgrade you need is like the basically the triangle jump, where you jump up to a wall, you hit R1 and it does a quick turn, and you hit L1 again and you vault off the wall. And they basically give you enough experience to get that when you need it. I'm really conflicted about Mirror's Edge Catalyst, because when the game was good, it's really, really good, and reminded me about what I loved about the first Mirror's Edge game, which we'll get back to in a minute. When it was bad, it was kind of... There were too many instances of me getting through, like, hitting this checkpoint and getting to a really hard jumping puzzle, and then dying because I was moving too fast and I didn't realize where I should have gone. That's fine, that's on me. And then I would go through and I would make this jump that I've made 10 times before, and I would just fall off the map. There's a lot of inconsistencies, and there were too many points where I was sitting there saying, I can't stop dying. Either it's because I'm fighting 7 dudes, 4 of which have guns right now, and I'm fighting them all at the same time, or I'm trying to do these sequence of jumps that either I'm not doing the right thing and I don't know why, or runner vision is off and I haven't figured out the puzzle, which is fine. But there were too many instances of me like beating my head against this game and saying, why am I still doing this? This isn't really fun right now. But then getting through it and saying like, oh, well, that was a pretty cool set piece. That was actually pretty interesting. So remember last week we were talking about, hey, is this a prequel or a sequel or whatever? I went and looked it up. I totally forgot it's a reboot. Oh, and I forgot that EA was making a big deal about, no, we're rebooting. It's the same character, it's the same world, but it's...
So they managed to make the game worse.
No, I think there... did you ever run into one of the characters, Dogen, in there? He's basically the guy that has your debt. He's always cooking.
Okay.
He's a pretty cool character. I liked him. I liked... There were some pretty good villains. I think... I kind of wish... My only criticism... The story was fine. It wrapped up in an interesting way. It did the thing that I like open world games are doing, where after the credits, it gives you a little cutscene before you dump back into the world, giving you a justification of why you're going back in there. Kind of like how Batman did. I like that they do that. It was just pretty predictable. You know, early on, I'm like, oh, this happens to that person, that's that person, I bet that's that person, that's what their deal is. And it just kind of all fell into place.
So it's pretty formulaic?
Yeah, I think it was told pretty well. The voice acting was pretty good, the animation was good. I think I just wish it was less of a predictable storyline, and I hope they'll make another one and kind of resolve some of those issues. I think in another Mirror's Edge, they could continue the storyline in a pretty interesting way, but in this one, it's a lot of setting up the world and filling in Faith's backstory and, you know, explaining where her parents went and who the bad guy is and all that stuff. I think it's fine, but it's all just set dressing. It's not... There were some interesting parts, but not a lot of surprises where it's like, oh, that just happened? There were sort of 2 points that was kind of surprising, but surprising like that dog spearing your jugular. I'm
Nails.
hold on, we gotta. We gotta plug the headphones back in. There we go. Now we won't have an echo. Knobs' dog went nuts and ripped the headphones right off of his head.
And out of the jack.
Yeah. I'm really torn on Mirror's Edge. I had a lot of fun with it when all the pieces came together, and when I could run through an area and I could do a mission, and I'm, like breaking into the hoity-toity area of the city, and I'm going from point to point, and when you have, just like the first game, when you have that momentum and you can keep it going and you can keep running, it feels great.
Right.
But when the game gives you a puzzle that's hard to get through, or you get momentum and then it skids you to a stop because you have to fight 7 dudes, that's not really that fun. Or you have to fight, there's like 5 classes of enemies you fight, and the very last one is no fun at all because they take about 10 to 12 hits of like the heavy damage hits. That's not fun at all.
The city should be the enemy or the obstacle to get through in that game, not people.
I agree, because there were a couple of parts where there were at like the halfway point of the game. This isn't really a spoiler. The game hasn't been out as long as I thought it's been, so I'm not going to spoil very much. About the halfway point, the bad guys start putting automated turrets in some missions that sounded terrible, and I had the same reaction where I'm just like, oh god, why? There's one mission that was really cool. There's a diversion, you're creating an escape path for somebody else that's going and doing a mission, and you have to clear out these turrets that are around the escape path. What's great about it is the turrets can't hit you if you're moving fast enough. So basically you're circling this construction site and finding the way up and continuing your momentum in a really satisfying way until you get all the way up to where they are behind them, and then disable them, and then move over to another building and do the same thing. It's one of those ones where that to me is perfect Mirror's Edge. I wouldn't mind if I was getting shot at by 2 or 3 people, but when I got up to them, I could just punch them in the face, and one punch they were done. Just like punch, 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 and then the enemies were down. I don't want to combo, because you try to go hit a lot of enemies with attacks, they'll stop your second hit. Even when you're fully upgraded, you can stun an enemy and then get 3 free hits, but for a lot of enemies, that's about half of their health bar. That's not fun. And you're fighting this dude while other people are shooting you, and somebody's shooting you with that shocky hand thing. It's the same problem that the first game had, where fighting enemies is no fun, but running away from enemies is fun.
Yes. I don't know, because I didn't feel like I had that initial set piece when I started that game that I got in the first Mirror's Edge, where you're hanging from that helicopter, like, where it's like you're all
you're sliding
right
down that building,
scene.
you jump off it to grab in that helicopter, you see Faith in the windows, like, that set piece was cool.
Yes, and that's what kept me going, so I felt like I wanted to get those moments continuous.
That set piece for me was the very last mission. Without spoiling it, you have to climb this tower, and it's hundreds of stories up, and you climb the whole thing. And it was a lot of fun to try and figure out, okay, well, I can do this thing to get up there, to do that thing to get up here, and it felt really good traversing this whole thing, because the majority of the rest of the game has been running from small area to small area. It's an open world, but the world itself is pretty small, sort of to its credit, because it's not like GTA where you can hop in a car and go 70 miles an hour to the next city. There is a fast travel, but you have to do this collection mission to unlock each fast travel. And about halfway through the game, it was faster for me to just run through the city to get to where I needed to go, instead of do this mission a couple of times to figure out how the hell I'm going to do it to unlock the fast travel. So, I don't know. To me, I think if I was going to give this a rating, it's probably like a 6 or a 7 out of 10. It's fine. It mechanically works. It's interesting enough. It's a 10 to 12 hour game. You don't have to do any of the optional stuff. For me, none of that stuff was fun, but I didn't need to do it to get skills to finish the game, which I really appreciated. A lot of the upgrades you get don't really matter, and you can keep your momentum going pretty easily throughout the game. I just don't think I can recommend it as easily as I could recommend the first one. I think in a lot of ways it's a better game, but I think if they would go back to having it be a linear experience in the next one, I don't think I'd be mad. I think that focus in the first game of having it be linear was pretty cool. Coach Jamal in chat says, "Is it Is it worth $60?"
No.
I don't think so. I could. So here's the thing. I'm unemployed, so I'm a house husband / soon to be stay-at-home dad. I could keep it from GameFly for $24 and decided not to. I don't think that says it's a $20 game. I think if you see it for $30 and you're interested in it, I think that's a $30 game. But for me, once I finish the main storyline, I'm kind of done. I don't see any reason to play through it again. I don't see any reason to finish all the missions and finish all the side stuff. I don't think that's nearly as interesting as it could be. But I think if you liked the first one, I'd still give this one a shot and see if it clicks with you. It took me probably a couple of missions in the game for it to really click. I would give it probably, I think the game has like 16 missions. It took me probably about 5 or 6 missions for it to really click. So, I don't know, I'm torn. It's good, but I could wholeheartedly recommend the first one because it's such a cool game, and it was definitely, and in some respects is still a unique game. And I think by making Catalyst an open world game, you lose out on some of that. And I think it's not as good of a game in that respect, but in some respects it's still a pretty great game. So that's Catalyst, I guess. So I don't know what game I'm going to get from GameFly next, but tomorrow I'm going to mail that guy back. And
what's in your queue?
I have a lot of stuff in my queue. I think the next thing that's available now is Ratchet and Clank, the brand new reboot one, which I could be down for. I have Into the Nexus for the PS3, which is the previous one. That one didn't really click with me. The very first weapon you get is a portal gun, and that one, there was something about that one that never really landed with me. But the new one's supposed to be really good, so I'm pretty excited about that one.
Oh, it's got to be better than that movie.
I heard the movie was not super great, which is a bummer, because I really like Ratchet and Clank a lot. So, but that's all I've been playing this week, so let's take a break.
Awesome. I gotta pee.
Coach Jamal asks, you can go. I'll answer it. Which one had a better transition, open world, Homefront or Mirror's Edge? Neither.
Neither?
Yeah, I don't... Oh, of course, I opened a Starburst pack. 2 yellows.
No, Homefront had its moments where that open world stuff was really good. And the same thing, I didn't fast travel at all in that game. Yeah. And I didn't use the motorcycles. I had more fun working my way across that map. Just sweep and clear.
Taking the Fallout approach.
Yeah. I'll be back.
All right.
Oh, don't yell at me.
I think for me with Mirror's Edge, I think the open world is fine, but I almost got a little sick of... The thing that I liked in the first one was you spend a little bit of time in the upper part of the city where it's all clean and it's all white and very sterile. And then you spend about half your time down in the gross, sort of under construction areas. I felt like that was a little unbalanced in this one. It could have been a little bit better about using all of the areas that it had. I don't know. I think I feel similarly to how Knobs did with Homefront, where it was just, it's fine. Where is... Trying to get some food in me. I haven't even eaten today. Okay. How is everyone in chat doing? Hopefully you're having a great day. Trying to remember my password for Beam. Apologies for anyone that's watching Beam. I did not realize that I didn't put a explanation of what we're doing here. Yeah, I didn't, Boy, I'm level 13 already on Beam. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Had to work, that's no good. Alright, what's going on here? Oh boy, someone's gonna do yard work. Let's see if I'll block it. Past midnight here, we're going to stay for the second debate later on, which is at 3 a.m. Belgian time. Wow. How do I explain this on Twitch? Let's use that same thing. Come on, Twitch, work with me here. Oh boy.
I think it was just me being an idiot as a kid.
Whoa, you almost got caught the iMac wrong.
Come on, Hitbox, I don't want to... Why would you play audio by default? Oh, and now there's an ad on Twitch that I can't even mute. Alright, go away.
Dash attack. Trying to catch him landing into him.
The Franklin.
Back air turtle.
Oh. Oh. Yeah, I actually confused Stretch by saying geometry on deck with Lucas. Because hexagons.
I muted this and it's not muting. Sorry if you can hear the stream in the background. Trying to edit some of these channels.
Okay. Game & Watch is very light characters. So
and I have muted Hitbox and it isn't muting.
Just landing it.
Yeah.
You gotta hope you don't run into something like that.
Yes.
Because you almost ran right into that up smash. That up smash has auto guards. You cannot beat it.
Hi there, Knobs.
Don't even try to challenge it.
It needs to be headphones.
Oh.
Alright, so let's edit
back.
Black stuff all over me.
Okay, so how do I edit our channel? Video input. Bad. Ugh. Stream key, channel trailer, cover. How do I put the description for the channel? I will do that later. I'm ready to start whenever you are, because I haven't eaten today. Can you hear that thing in the background?
Yeah.
Alright, hold on. Ugh. Alright. I'm ready to start whenever you are. I don't know if I just said this or not, because I haven't really eaten today. So I'd like to go do that.
What? You said you didn't eat today?
No. Too busy. Baby stuff.
Oh, I know.
Washing and folding.
Well,
about
I
a million
don't
clothes.
know, but I know it's like being busy.
People were very generous to give us a lot of hand-me-down clothes, but that's a lot of tiny clothes I have to wash and fold.
Oh, you get dirty baby clothes.
Yeah.
Alright. You ready?
Ready.
Alright, ready in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody. We got releases this week for October 10th, 2016. Dragon Quest Builders for the PlayStation 4 and Vita.
This is Dragon Quest plus Minecraft, which is getting really good reviews, which I wasn't really expecting. Apparently it's very good.
Oh, alright.
Yeah.
Duke Nukem 3D 20th Anniversary World Tour for the PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One.
It would have to be something pretty special to recommend playing Duke Nukem 3D in 2016, and I have not seen anything about this.
Are they doing like the up-res version of this game, or is it the same Duke Nukem?
I know it has a new set of levels made by, I think, maybe Gearbox, but that's maybe not a selling point.
Mm.
Yeah.
Unless it was that one up-res version that was floating around there for a little bit that got shut down, if
Something
I remember
like that,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. I'd play that one. Not
Sure.
the same one I played 20 years ago. Alright, Gears, literally 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Gears of War 4 for the PC and Xbox One. Go get it.
Early
It's pretty
reviews
good.
from TVGP are good.
It is. Rise of the Tomb Raider 20-year celebration for the PlayStation 4.
I really liked this game when I played it on Xbox One. As long as it runs well on PS4, this is absolutely a recommendation from me. And if you haven't played the first one, go play that one. It's really good. And the second one's even better.
Yeah, I'm still working on it.
Someday.
All right, WWE 2K17 for the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, 360, and Xbox One.
That's a wrestling game. It's got some wrestlers in it.
It is. And PlayStation VR for 10/13/2016. The selected games are Batman Arkham VR, Drive Club VR,
Looks cool.
Harmonix Music VR,
Does not look
Job Simulator. Wow, what could that possibly be?
If you haven't seen Job Simulator, you should watch some videos. It's pretty great.
Alrighty, Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes.
Which is even better in VR.
That sounds like a great game. And let me see, Super Hypercube, okay. Super Stardust Ultra in VR has got to be mind-melting.
I would like to see what that one is, especially. There's a lot of great games coming out for PSVR. There's probably about twice as many games that we talked about there, but a lot of them are kind of smaller stuff.
Yeah.
I am surprised at how poor the early coverage has been. The early headsets seem to have some pretty big problems that need some attention, but hopefully Sony will put out some sort of patch this week and smooth that stuff out.
Yeah. Here's your complimentary sponge.
Yep.
All right, Res Infinite. Infinite. Why did I say that weird? Infinite. Why? That's for PlayStation 4, and it also supports PSVR support.
So,
support. Infinite.
I have to say, Infinite.
Why can't I say that word?
I'm really excited about this. I pre-ordered the digital version. I have the boxed edition pre-ordered, but IM8bit said it will be shipping winter 2016. That is, I need to play this on the 12th or 11th when it comes out. For pre-ordering, not only did I get avatars for each transformation of your little res guy, but also there's a super special pre-order theme, an animated theme that is the attract screen where you're floating around that white lady.
Yeah.
It's that in the background of the PS4 animated, and it has like the digital readout of like decrypting 20%, 30%, 40%, and the song that's playing is the credits song. It couldn't be more perfect. That will never be leaving my PS4. It's so good.
I don't own a PS4, and I'm going to pre-order that now.
It's so good. So I cannot wait to talk about Res Infinite next week.
What's that through? You pre-ordered that?
Just
Is
PSN.
it just PSN?
Yeah, just a PSN store. It's $30, I think, which it's a little steep for a game I've bought a whole bunch of times before, but then again, it's Res and it's awesome.
And then again, it's us.
Yeah.
So we're not shy about buying things more than once.
And it has new content. It has that Area X, which looks so good.
Alrighty, and lastly, Shadow Warrior 2 for the PC.
Coming out on consoles at some point. It has drop-in, drop-out multiplayer this time. At least 2 people, if not 4. So that should be a pretty good time. Alright, let's move on to news stories. Digital Homicide. Our friends over at Digital Homicide have dropped their lawsuit against Steam users. If you remember, they were suing 11 Jane and John Does for 140 quote-unquote false statements about their games on Steam. And then the last time we visited this company, Valve had kicked them off of Steam. Digital Homicide's Jane Romine told TechRaptor, quote, "The case dismissal was only due to financial reasons caused by the removal of our games," end quote. They said I also believe the case was very solid because of harassment, but then still dropped the lawsuit. So, I mean, it sounds like that Digital Homicide has basically shut down. It was 2 people making those games. As always, it is really sad to see people lose their jobs. But I hope that these 2 individuals go and make better stuff in the future. Hopefully they make better games. That would be great. And unfortunately, they have not dropped their lawsuit against Jim Sterling, which is a bummer. They're suing him for some millions of dollars. Next news story. Let's continue with this roller coaster of emotions that is PS4 Skyrim and Fallout 4 mods. Previously, Sony said no, and Bethesda kind of put them on blast and called them out. Now Bethesda is saying, yeah, they're going to be on PS4 for Skyrim and Fallout, but maybe not in the way that you were hoping. The biggest thing is you will not be able to upload any external assets for PS4 mods. So on Pup yesterday, I talked about one of the famous Skyrim mods is the Macho Man Randy Savage Dragons one, where the dragons have his face, and off in the distance you hear that, ooh, yeah, and it's getting closer to you. Can't do that. That's external assets. You can only use the assets that shipped with Skyrim itself, which, for a counterpoint, is pretty generous. But you won't be able to do a lot of other cool stuff. You can only upload. There are, I think, 900 megs. The ones on Xbox One are 2 gigs, and you can't use any external music because the PlayStation 4 uses a proprietary music format. So they'll be on PS4, but kind of in a bit of a weird state. It's nice to see that they'll be coming, and I didn't think about why that might have happened until we were talking about it yesterday on Pup, and I think, rightly or wrongly, if you put yourself in Sony's position and you look at a number of the more popular Skyrim mods that are on modding sites, we can call a number of them adult. And I don't think Sony wants to field any questions about, hey, I bought my kid this Skyrim game for Christmas, and then next thing I know, he's wandering around, there's a bunch of naked people all over the place. Probably wouldn't work really well for Sony, and I could understand why they would want to sort of push back on a lot of that stuff. So I guess it's nice that that's coming out, but we'll see how much it gets used. If it gets used for anything really that interesting. Next news story, new Beyond Good and Evil 2, confirmed yet again by Ubisoft, saying that Michel Ancel is currently working with the Ubisoft Montpellier studio on a new Beyond Good and Evil game, and it's in pre-production, seemingly forever. For the last, how long have we been talking about this game? 10 years? The show's been on the air for 9, so
that's so weird.
You can see Knobs over there trying to pre-order Res Infinite.
What? How do you know what I'm doing? I'm reset. Oh my god! I just reset this. What is it?
Because you have that face where you're like, where you're trying to find something on the PSN store, and you're just like, no, I just typed in Res. Why is it showing me like themes for cheese? What's happening? I just want Res Infinite. Yeah, I feel you. This is kind of a shorter news story, but I thought it was a weird one. I think it's Universal.
I just reset my password and I'm still messing it up.
Great. Universal has optioned for the movie rights for Gears of War, which I don't know. You know, what Assassin's Creed seems to be looking okay so far. Warcraft kind of flopped in everywhere except for China, sort of quality aside.
Warcraft was it wasn't bad.
Yeah. The Chinese market ate it up, but over here it didn't really set any box office numbers. It's kind of weird. Gears of War, I mean, you could probably make it a pretty cool shoot bang bang movie, but I don't know, man. You gotta
find everyone that's built like linebackers.
Yeah, exactly. Just the thickest people. P-Flux says has to be done by Michael Bay. I might see that. That might be ridiculous enough to go watch. And last but not least, Twitch is now letting you upload pre-recorded videos in their hopefully not futile attempt to win back some of their ground from YouTube. And I think Amazon wants to get more stuff on there. So you can use, instead of just storing your videos on demand, now you can have pre-recorded videos like you would put on YouTube, and now you can store that stuff on Twitch. So it's in open beta now. Pretty curious to see how that's going to work. I know a lot of people were pretty excited saying like, oh, well, thank goodness we don't have to use YouTube. Twitch is so much better. Yeah. Their copyright stuff is also kind of crappy, so not sure it's really the oasis that we're looking for. I don't know who would be nowadays, but not sure it's Twitch. Alright, let's move on to emails. missed an email from Ghost Underground last week titled Misery Loves Company. It says, hey guys, what are your best examples of games you probably wouldn't have enjoyed if not for co-op? They don't have to be bad games. For example, Earth Defense Force and Kane and Lynch games are significantly better when playing with a friend. Resident Evil 5 solo isn't all that good, but the co-op makes for a great time. Thanks for the show each week. Did you and I, or was that me and Brad, did we play one of the, oh man, what was that 2-player game?
Army of Two?
Army of Two, yeah. Was that you and I?
No, that was you and Brad, but
Okay.
I did it with Sean.
I had a lot of fun with that.
I have fun with both of them. I thought 1 and 2 were both really a lot of fun.
Yeah. I thought that was a game, if I had played that solo, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed that much, if at all. But the games weren't necessarily bad, so I'm not sure if it's really Misery, but it's certainly not as fun as it would have been with 2 players.
Crackdown ended up being an absolute joy in co-op.
Yeah, thankfully that's another one that is a good game that stands by itself, but made way better by co-op. Are there any other open world games that we...
You know what? Saints Row was surprisingly didn't matter whether you were co-oping or not.
That's true. You were so overpowered, it kind of didn't make a difference.
Yeah. Gears makes it better.
Yep. Gears is great co-op.
Yeah.
That for me is one of the... Especially Gears 1 was one of the early examples of how to do co-op right, because drop-in, drop-out wasn't a thing at that point yet. So being able to say, like, you can just hop in my game and Xbox Live just works. Man, that was great. I don't know what else has great co-op. My wife and I play a lot of Destiny co-op, which I think makes... Playing Destiny with friends makes it better for sure. I don't know. I don't know if we've played a lot of Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. Played that a lot co-op.
Oh, jeez. That game you cannot survive without co-op.
That's true. The AI peeps are a little too dumb. Alright, it's getting super warm in here, so let's keep moving on with these emails. Dan writes in and says, hey guys, long-time listener here, Danny GNO2 on the forums and Discord. Hi. I just want to email you guys to let Knobs know he's not the only person who enjoyed the game Fuel. That game was doing some pretty great things for a time on console. I grew up in the Northwest, and a lot of the landmarks in the game were from my area, so it was awesome driving around them at full speed. I actually made some friends playing that game too. Another game with the same feel as Fuel that I really enjoyed was Test Drive Unlimited and Test Drive Unlimited 2. I have like 200 hours in that game, mostly time spent driving around and looking at scenery. So... You have a Fuel friend in Dan over here. And I totally forgot about Test Drive Unlimited 1 and 2. Those did very similar things to Fuel, where I think the first one gave you like a full Hawaiian island, sort of like what Forza Horizon is doing. Where it's just like, we're just going to map a whole huge area and you can just go crazy in it. I kind of like that idea. He continues, I have a question for you guys. What is a game that when you first heard about it, you thought it was the most amazing and greatest thing ever, but once played you found it to be a pile of donkey doo? Mine is definitely Legendary on Xbox 360, which is a game I forgot about. What could ruin the excitement of getting to run around a destroyed city killing mythical creatures? God-awful gameplay. That's what. Been listening for a long time and thoroughly enjoy every episode. Thanks for everything, guys. Legendary, remember when the Legendary, the box, back when it was originally announced, and for some reason the hype train caught on that real early, and then once videos started coming out of that game, just disappeared. What a weird flop of a game.
I don't remember Legendary.
Yeah. What games did we think looked really great, and once you played you found out to be bad? I'm sure everybody's answer right now would be No Man's Sky, though I don't necessarily
agree with that.
Personally agree, because I didn't get caught up in the hype train.
Oh, man.
I'm trying to think.
I was convinced Injustice was going to be amazing.
Yeah, and that game was fine.
Yeah. Well, Guilty Gear Suka, that's our own fault.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like for the last couple of years, I try not to get caught up in the hype cycle because it never really pans out.
Oh, I don't know. I think Crackdown 2 initially was a little bit of a letdown
Yeah, there was something missing.
because the agents didn't look different. They were just in like a Crackdown suit. But no, once the jet boots came out, that game was just amazing.
Yeah.
They had me stuck on Pacific City again, which was a little
Bit of
disappointing.
a bummer. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't think we typically get excited.
Oh, GTA 4. Come on.
Yeah, I bet if we went back and listened, we were probably both pretty excited about that, and then it let us down pretty hard. I know we go back to that well pretty often, but I think coming off of 3 and Vice City,
Yeah, Rockstar could do no wrong at that point.
Right, and I never really played San Andreas. I kind of bounced off of it in like the first couple of minutes. There's something about that game I didn't want to play.
Well, didn't quite hit the chords we were expecting. The game was a lot more raw than either one of us was anticipating.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably have to be GTA 4. As much as we go back to that, I think we were both really excited. We're like, man, it's the first next-gen one. It's going to be huge. All the stuff they're showing is great.
Eastern European protagonist. This could be interesting.
And for us, it just flopped. 5, thankfully, is a much better game.
5 is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
I mean, that game is awesome.
Also my GameFly queue so I can finish it at some point. Cosmic Storm 99 in chat says, is there a particular game you guys wanted to see a sequel for years, but would most likely be too late now? I've wanted a sequel to Skies of Arcadia since it came out, but I think that time has passed to capture the feeling of the original. Man, I'd love an old Dreamcast sequel to Skies of Arcadia. I think for us is Zone of the Enders 3.
Oh man,
we kept
that's been so far removed. That didn't even come across our radar right now.
Yep. And now I don't think there's any chance of it because Kojima's not at Konami anymore.
No.
So.
Oh man, that's a good one.
That will always be like sitting out there because he even talked about it and they were working on it. And it was in production. You know, it was more than just like the Skies of Arcadia, where it's like, yeah, that'd be really great. I'd have some ideas. It could be really great. Like Zone of the Enders 3 was being made, and now it's not. Just worse.
Ooh, this is a game that's been too long for a sequel.
A Cosmic Storm 99 says Alpha Protocol 2. Bam. I think with the amount of money and the more experience that Obsidian has, both with the popularity of the South Park game and then all the other stuff they worked on that they've gotten kickstarted, I mean, if Sega didn't own Alpha Protocol, there'd probably be a really great chance. But it's not.
No, man, I really like a Shinobi game.
Last one was the PS2 one, right?
Yeah, the last one was wasn't Nightshade. What the hell was that one?
No, that was Nightshade.
Was it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that one, it was an interesting ninja game, but, you know what? I would love to see From Software make another Okami game.
Oh,
sans the motion blur.
Otogi, you mean?
Yeah, Otagi.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that'd be great.
Because that is a crazy game. Oh, I got one.
Yeah.
Gun Valkyrie.
Ah, there you go. One of my favorite games.
I want to play that again.
I'd like to see. I'm hoping that this new Sonic game that Sega's working on, I'd like to see Sega return to those smaller, more experimental games that now they have a home on PSN and Xbox Live. You know, you could put out a game for $15 or $20 that's maybe like Gungrave. It's maybe a couple hours. has integrated leaderboards, really encourages, especially through trophies nowadays, encourages you to continually replay it, but it's not this big $60 huge experience, because I feel like that's where Sega fails. Sega fails when they have to make something too big.
Right. Well, no, they're always notorious for putting all their eggs in one basket and that basket having a hole in it.
Right. Get Billy Hatcher on the job. That's a sequel that should come out. Put out a new Billy Hatcher game.
Power Stone War.
Power Stone would be great. That'd be a perfect downloadable game. Cosmic Storm says Shadow Complex. I'd love to see another Shadow Complex. But
yeah.
What is Chair working on right now?
I don't know. Probably updating Infinity Blade or whatever it is.
Infinity Blade 18. Man, they made them so much money.
What would be another good one? I'd like to see not Mad World. You know what? Metroid Prime. I want another Metroid Prime.
Yeah.
That would get me to buy a Nintendo console like immediately.
Yeah, especially if it was in VR.
Oh gosh. Oh jeez.
I'm drooling a little bit.
Could you imagine that? Especially with the Wii controls that they did for Metroid Prime 3.
Yep, that'd be great. You're already in the visor and everything. You just poured it over. All right, let's move on to our last email here from good friend of the show, Matt Crane. You can find him at Flaming Yellow Studios. He's done all the art for all of these shows. He's very talented. Please go hire him. It says it's titled Lost Odyssey, so I already know I like it. I was happy to hear Lost Odyssey was added to Xbox One backwards compatibility recently. Even though I don't own an Xbox One and never owned a 360, I actually bought a used copy of Lost Odyssey and borrowed my brother's 360 to play it. I did this partly because of how you guys talked it up on your show, and partly because the game seemed a lot like Final Fantasy X, which is my fave. No pressure. As it turns out, I was not disappointed at all. Whew. What a great game. I absolutely love all 4 discs worth of it. Okay, so maybe I don't love the dream sequences or the story too much. The dream sequences are really good. But the gameplay was even better and more satisfying than I hoped for. So thanks again for recommending a great game that would have flown under my radar if I didn't listen to the podcast. Yes, go play Lost Odyssey. It has a very unique battle system. You can't overlevel. The story is, it's fine until the end when it's really good. I like the dream sequences a lot.
I don't remember the dream sequences. What was the stories?
Yeah, those little stories.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Those are good. Unless there's a different dream sequences that I don't remember.
That's what I'm trying to suss out. I don't know. I just love the I really love the characters in that game. Like Kaim was a really good protagonist. Seth was one of the best characters I think I've had in a video game character in game in a long time. But no, the prince is what made that game amazing. Because the Golden Prince dude, I can't remember his name. Was it Leon or something?
Something
whatever.
Crazy.
But no, that him actually being a good character that you needed to use.
Yeah.
Just because honestly, if he would have sucked, I never would have used him.
Yeah.
But then I actually tried him out in a few battles and he's the most powerful character in my group.
Yeah, he's really strong.
When did this happen?
Yeah, I cannot recommend Lost Odyssey enough. It's so good. And
that was when he had that one witch lady that brought the meteor shower down, right?
Yeah, I forgot about her too.
I can't remember her
Lost
name.
Odyssey again.
Yeah, I think
really
we should.
At the time, but
there's our next TVGP plays.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how much it is on Xbox Live, and I don't really. It doesn't really have a price that I can see. Oh well. But at the end of Matt's email here, he says, so here's the question, will we ever see AAA turn-based RPGs again? I know we've got strategy RPGs like Fire Emblem and XCOM that are turn-based, but it seems like a lot of JRPGs are opting for more action-style combat, Final Fantasy 15, and Valkyria Chronicles Azure Revolution, for example. Personally, I'd love to see a big, beautiful turn-based JRPG on current consoles. I think the only company right now there's only 2 companies that have the money to do it. One is Square Enix, the other is Atlas. Persona 5 is probably the only other big budget AAA
Yeah.
JRPG you're going to see coming out. Other than that, like, look at Square Enix put out I Am Setsuna. They didn't even bring it out physically here in the US. It's a $30 downloadable game on PSN. You know, like, that, to me, they're willing to localize this stuff. But I think the risk on making a big budget JRPG is really not worth it on in either country, because Japan is crazy about mobile stuff right now. And
Right.
console sales are fine, but not great. And the US right now doesn't really want JRPGs. They barely want RPGs in general, except for The Witcher 3. P-Flux in chat says Wasteland 3. Yeah, I think Matt's specifically asking about JRPGs. I'd say Wasteland 3 is probably the best chance we have of like a AAA Western RPG, you know, along with something like Dragon Age Inquisition. But even those are fairly action-based. You know, Wasteland is much more... It's like Fallout 1 and 2 more than Fallout 3 and 4. But I feel like right now, unless you're making another Skyrim or you're making another Fallout, I don't know if it's worth the risk and worth the money to make big turn-based RPG. I think the market for it is really small. And if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be the 15th Final Fantasy game where you have a saturated market, or it's the 5th Persona game where people really love the previous games and will just buy anything Atlas. So, I don't know. It's a tough market for RPGs right now. So either way you cut it. All right, that's our episode this week. Thank you so much for listening. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Email us tvgpfans@gmail.com. Tweet us at tvgp. Send that throughout the entire week. I just scoop them up and save them for each episode. You can follow us on Discord. That chat server is really great community, and all the other stuff is on the right-hand side of the page.
And don't forget to join the forums. Please mark yourselves on the map. Join us for our game nights, Monday night, 10 p.m. EST. It's probably going to be Gears 4 Horde mode.
Yep.
Like to get a couple of those going, maybe get a little race to the top going.
Oh, yeah.
Tuesday's Destiny night. Get your, on the PlayStation 4.
Come find this guy.
That's right. Get your notification set up. Wednesday night is Rocket League on a PlayStation 4 as well. Thursday night, Steam game night, and Friday through Sunday, hey, we're usually online a lot. So give us a holler.
This month's Game Club game, it's been going a little bit longer, but all three of us have been really busy this month, so you have plenty of time to play the Saboteur. I will say that, but I have not had any time. And don't forget, you can watch this show live on Twitch and YouTube and Hitbox and Beam, and listen to us on iTunes and Google Podcasts and SoundCloud. And if you listen to podcasts in a place that we're not, please send us an email, send us a tweet. I will get this show on the place that you want to listen to. Listen to it. Blech.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Anyways, thank you very much, everyone, for listening. We'll see you all next week.
Later.
Not
yeah,
yet,
buddy.
Not yet. Almost. All right, I have 5 titles. I don't know if you have any.
I did not, because I was focusing on trying to reset a password.
I have Finger of God, Catastrophal, Catastrophal, yeah. The Little Inspector, which I like. In the Arctic. I just like how you said, like, in the Arctic. And Glowy Bottom Bits.
Glowy Bottom Bits.
That's a pretty good title.
I like Glowy Bottom Bits.
All right, I'll circle that one. All right, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 468 for October 10th, 2016. Glowy Bottom Bits.
Stabbing isn't going to get you saved.
All right, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Appreciate everybody watching on Hitbox and Beam and all this stuff. We'll be, live streaming to all those services again this time next week. We'll see you then. Bye.